Hey friends, it's Laura. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having an amazing day. Today I need to knock out a plant chore, which I've been putting off for a little while. I need to clean out my plant cabinet. It needs a cleaning, and I also want to really look at the plants in there up close. I've been watering them, of course, but I haven't really been giving them like intense care since putting them in there. They've been in there for about 6 months. I would like to prevent any pest outbreaks. That's one of my big concerns with having a plant cabinet is I feel like pest issues could quickly get out of hand. So I'm gonna do an up close examination of the plants as well as cleaning the plants as well as cleaning the cabinet. It's not the most glamorous chore, but it does need to be done, and I'm gonna do it right now. So if I'm perfectly honest, I am not super excited about this chore, but we're just gonna get into it and it'll be fine. So I think I'm gonna go about this. I'm just gonna take out all the plants one at a time, check them out, and then I'll clean once everything's out. This is an Alocasia Silver Dragon, just a little baby. She's doing good. No pests that I see. I'm putting them here on my plant mat. You can't see that, but putting them on the plant mat beside me, and then I will wash the plants too. I think that's probably a good call. This is my Hoya Crimson Queen. She's doing good. I recently put her on this trellis. She's doing good. She doesn't even need to be watered. I find with having plants in a cabinet, you don't actually have to water very often because they just stay humid. This is, what is this? Xanthosoma something, Caladium lindenii something. It's got a lot of names. This is the newest leaf, which is looking really beautiful. This plant was $1, so it's a rescue plant. I put it in the cabinet because caladiums in general need humidity, but I think once the winter's over, I'll just take it out of the cabinet. I don't think it needs to be in there. But obviously in the winter, it's really dry. Like there's a foot of snow outside right now, so it's really dry. I figured why not help it thrive in a humid cabinet. In this pot as well, you will see a yellow sticky pest strip thing. I put one of those in each half of the cabinet. I figured that if there was pests, they would show up on the yellow strip, and that way I would see them right away. And so on this strip, maybe this is gross, but there is, I don't know, like 10 fungus gnats, and that strip has been in there for like 6 months. So I don't think there's a pest issue yet or at all, other than fungus gnats, which, you know, are kind of just a part of this hobby. They show up, then they disappear. Here is my Hoya caryi. It has some drips of water on it from the Alocasia cuprea behind it. This plant, I've talked about this plant a lot. It doesn't grow for me. I feel like it doesn't grow for a lot of people. However, I did see a tiny little growth point. I think it's a growth point, or it's just a root sticking out of the soil. I saw that and I don't know, it gives me hope that maybe someday this will grow. I don't know. I feel like if it won't grow in the cabinet, it just won't grow. So it's in the cabinet, we'll see. This is my Alocasia Dragon Scale, doing well. It's got new leaf coming in there, and there's something going on here. I don't know if that's like a new leaf or a bloom. I had one of my other Alocasias bloom, which was pretty cool. But I'm excited that this is going to have more leaves. It's been one leaf for a little while, and that was actually my doing. It had more leaves, but they were damaged, I think from fertilizer burn or something in the store, and I just cut them off for aesthetic reasons. This is my Philodendron Brandy, and if you've seen this plant before on my channel, this is almost unrecognizable. Like honestly, this plant has been through it. It's been such a struggle plant, and the only thing that made it grow is putting it in the cabinet. So she's now just so, I mean, she's not huge because she's a small plant, but she's growing. She was doing nothing for so long. I do want to get a little trellis. I've been eyeing different trellises, but she's almost unrecognizable. Oh, and there's like a leaf. This is so weird. So this leaf is like curled into this other leaf that's about to open up. Do I fix that? But she's doing so amazing. The fact that there's like that many leaves popping out that there's an issue is really exciting. So she is loving cabinet life. I said I would answer some questions about the cabinet. One of the big questions was, doesn't it get moldy? That is a concern for sure, that it could get moldy, especially the more humid that it gets. But I have a fan in there. You can see that little pink fan. I have one of those in each side, so that helps the air circulate. And I want to stay on top of the cleaning. So anything can go moldy if it's humid, like anywhere, any area in your house can go moldy if it's too humid. That's actually one of the reasons I don't run humidifiers just in my house. I don't want my house to develop mold issues. My house is not like ancient, but it isn't a brand new house, and definitely a possibility that you could create a moldy environment. And to me, I love my plants, but I'm not willing to sacrifice the integrity of my house just to keep them more humid, which is of course one of the reasons I have a cabinet. So in answer to that question is, to keep the mold at bay, I am planning to maintain it, clean it regularly, which is what I'm gonna do right now, run the fans. I do, open this up every once in a while if I need to look at a plant or something, and there hasn't been any issues. There was like a tiny issue in the beginning, and then I added the fans, and then there's been no issue at all. Okay, continuing on. This is my Alocasia cuprea, and it's been one leaf for a long time. However, leaf right there, and I am so excited. That will be the first new leaf that grew completely in my care. This one was like unfurling. This one was unfurling when I bought it. So this, I'm so excited to see if it's really big. Like, is it loving the cabinet? Is it, I'm very excited. So I've been eagerly waiting for this leaf to open up. Okay, and those are all the plants on this side. I also have these little things on each side. Now the humidity is going down because the door is open. But the other side is at 88% with the door closed. So normally this cabinet is around like 85 to 90% humidity, which is quite high. I would not want my house to be that humid. It would be like living in a sauna, but so far the plants really like it. Another question I've gotten a lot about the cabinet is like, where did you get it? It is from a thrift store. It's actually, we have this like big thrift store in my town, and some things are good, some things are bad. I saw this and just saw the potential. And then my husband helped me hook up the lights, and we drilled holes for the fan. And that's really all we did. We didn't paint it, although I'm tempted to paint it. I think it would look cool in like a bright color, but I haven't had time to do that. And I do like the dark wood as well. The mirrors in the back are not my favorite thing. However, it does reflect more light onto the plant, so it probably is a really good thing for plants. That's a very like retro detail, and it is cool, but I feel like the reason I don't like them is just because they get dirty sometimes, and then I feel like I have to clean them. But honestly, looking at them right now, they're not actually that dirty. It's just me. Okay, so I've emptied that half. I think I'm gonna clean this half completely, clean the plants, put them back in, and then do the other half. First, I'm gonna clean the plants. All right, I'm not gonna do like a deep showering down of these because I didn't see any pests. I'm just spraying them down with my leaf spray. I try not to use really strong pest prevention unless I actually have spotted a pest. This spray does contain neem oil, though a little bit, not a ton, just to help prevent it. Oh no, we're running out. Just to help protect the plants. I would not say this is pest elimination, it's more pest prevention. This is definitely empty. I gotta refill it. I'll be right back. So for cleaning, I am using this, which looks really weird, but for about a week, me and my family just collect orange peels and we put them in these big jars, and then I fill them with white vinegar and let them sit for a little while. and that makes a very concentrated citrus vinegar cleaner. And then I strain that and I put a little bit of it in a, just an old spray bottle. Like I would probably fill it about this high, maybe, you know, about that. And then the rest is just water. And that is what we use to clean a lot of things in our house. I just put some in a bowl and I'm gonna use just out of the bowl with a cloth. I think that'll be more efficient for cleaning the cabinet. I wonder if I should vacuum. You know what, I'm also gonna vacuum. So while I'm cleaning, I guess I can answer other questions that I've received about the cabinet. A big question was like, is it better than an IKEA cabinet? I don't know. I don't have an IKEA greenhouse cabinet. I personally, I like to buy things used whenever possible. I feel like a big piece of furniture for my plants, I can easily thrift that. So that is why I chose to thrift it. Nothing against greenhouse cabinets. They definitely have, they're definitely really cute and I see the appeal. I also feel like the aesthetic of my house is not really IKEA. Like most of my furniture is thrifted or just sort of unique furniture. So I feel like a super modern look wouldn't necessarily fit in. So that's why I chose a thrifted cabinet. All right, I'm just gonna load these guys back in. I didn't mind the arrangement that they were in before. One thing I have to keep in mind is that these big alocasias drip. And I don't really want them to be dripping onto the wood. So I try to position a smaller plant underneath where the drip will drop. And the Hoya carrii, I don't know, it seems to sort of like the little drip drops. We'll see. Put this here. This big alocasia, well, it's not big yet, but it will get big. I'll put this one underneath here. All right, well, so they're all back in there, happy. I'm gonna close that door and move on to the other half. I feel very accomplished that I've done half. I'm not gonna give up now. Oh, I just forgot my little humidity meter thing. Okay, now we're on to the other half. Okay, I'm gonna use the exact same method for this side. That's one thing that this thrifted cabinet I'm not thrilled about is the doors are kind of like, they stick a little bit, so they're harder to slide back and forth, but also I'm not opening it that often, so it's not really a big issue. Here's my anthurium. She honestly is loving the cabinet life. I feel like she is thriving. And there's all these little like bumps on the bottom, and I don't know if those are new growth points. Are those going to be roots? I honestly don't know enough about anthurium to know what's going on. I assume that's a good sign. Hopefully it's not some weird disease. There is a new growth point coming in there. Overall, she is loving cabinet life. I know anthuriums don't need a super humid environment, but I think they benefit from it, so she's doing good. Here's my Hoya Chelsea that is doing well. She actually could use some water today. I'm hoping will grow around her little trellis this year and maybe bloom. We'll see. I got this one as a cutting. She is a slow grower for sure, but she's growing. This is my Hoya publicalis, and I would not say it's growing a ton, but there is some tiny little growth points happening, little like beginnings of leaves and things like that. So she's doing well. This is a new leaf, and this new leaf has quite a bit of splash, which is cool. This plant, I've heard that it will get more splash if it has more light, all that stuff, but I don't ever know if those things are true. Like, I feel like you just have to try it yourself and maybe what works for some people might work for you, but I just never know. I just never know about that advice. Let's talk about alocasia black velvet. Obviously thriving, doing amazing. I've replanted a few corms that I found into this plant. I just want it to be so full, and it honestly is so full. I might, the next batch of corms I might, you know, give away or something, because how big can it get really? But I do think it is enjoying cabinet life. I think that's a big part of why it's so big, and I love it. I have it like right on the top shelf, so it is getting quite a bit of light. Seems to love that. Next up, oh, these are my little anthurium seedlings. I'm so happy I get to show them off. They are doing so great. This leaf can start to see some veining starting. So these are Magnificum crossed with Crystallinum, crossed with Self. We'll see. We'll see how they turn out. I'm just excited to be growing something from seed. That's something new for me. This is my Hoya Wyetii, I believe. Yes, Hoya Wyetii. Again, not growing a ton, but happy, and there is some growth points on there. Hoyas, I feel like no matter what, they grow really slow, but I've found that in the cabinet, I see more of these little things. Like, are those aerial roots all along there, or are those the beginning of new leaves? I don't know. Is that, like, what is that? I love Hoya, but I am not an expert at all. So those things definitely are more prominent on my Hoyas, those little growth points. I will see in the next few months what they lead to, I guess, or if you know, just let me know. Here is my Hoya carnosa compacta. There's some new leaves over there. I would love for this one to bloom someday. We'll see. So just a regular Hoya carnosa green. This leaf is new, I believe. Other than that, just again, those little nubbins are appearing, but no new leaf, no new full leaves. My last one is my Hoya Crimson Princess. She's doing great. Again, I have the yellow sticky strip. Oh, yellow sticky strip is in here. This one has a few. This one has a few more fungus gnats on it, but again, there's no thrips or anything else weird appearing, so that's a good sign. Yeah, I feel like this was a good call on my part, because I can just check the yellow strip, and if there's nothing concerning, I don't need to worry and obsessively check through all the plants. I was kind of worried before doing this clean out that maybe the system was only going to attract fungus gnats and I would secretly find thrips all over my plants, but I have seen 0 pests, and that is making These things happen during plant chores, and the fact that I'm recording does not stop it from happening. It wasn't so bad. The plant is still in the pot. We just lost a lot of soil, but we're gonna be vacuuming anyway, so that's okay. Scoop that back in. All right, on to cleaning. And I'm not gonna clean my anthuriums with the leaf spray. I'm not sure if they would like that. Just they have more delicate leaves. And especially the seedlings, I don't wanna do anything that might upset them. Honestly, maybe they would love this spray. I'm not sure, I'm just not gonna risk it today. Give these guys a good wash. Oh, the compacta, I always give a really good wash, because I feel like if this plant ever got pests, it would be a nightmare. Give her a little drink. I'll give these guys a little bit of water. But like I said, in the cabinet, I find they don't need as much water. Alocasias always need water, in my opinion, but. All right, I'm gonna let these sit and air dry a little bit before I put them back in the cabinet. On to wiping this down. These ones I was really happy with how they were positioned before cleaning, so I'm probably gonna leave it really similar. I liked kind of having the Hoyas at the bottom, sort of like almost covering the bottom. Hoyas also don't drip in the same way as alocasia, so I don't need to worry about them dripping onto the wood. I find also having a plant cabinet, it kind of draws attention to your plants. Like it makes them look like little treasures, which I love. This one I've been keeping on the bottom. These seedlings I've been keeping on the bottom of the shelf just because I don't want to burn them. They haven't shown any signs of burning, but I just would rather be safe. I'd rather be safe than sorry. The Hoya Crimson Princess has recovered from her incident and she got a nice rinse in the sink. She's gonna be fine. I'm gonna actually move her up here. Now that I know she's so like tippy, bottom heavy, I guess would be the word. She needs a trellis, honestly. That's the next thing that needs a trellis. Well, there's a lot of things that need trellises, but you know, I only have so many trellises. That was such a big chore. It seemed like such a big chore in my mind, but actually it didn't take that long. Ta-da! Now the cabinet looks so beautiful, the plants look so beautiful and healthy, and I don't need to worry about pests for now. There was really no pests other than those few fungus gnats that were on the sticky tape, which honestly, those could have been there for a while. So I'm not worried at all. I don't see any pests. I didn't see any pests when I was cleaning, and now we can just like, whew, there's no issues going on. I hope I answered all the questions about the cabinet. I feel like I did, but also I was kind of distracted by the cleaning and the Crimson Princess falling and all those things. If you still have questions about the cabinet, let me know. But my main recommendation is if you want to make a thrifted cabinet, just do it. It's been awesome and my plants have been really happy. So yeah, anyway, have a wonderful day and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.